It's kind of interesting that he says we're a long way from growing human brains in pigs, but we'll come back to that. So you see they're getting more and more where they're starting to mix animal species and types around, even with humans. In fact, British laboratories have now created over 150 human-animal embryos. Scientists, if you look at this article here, they can now edit human genes in embryos directly. And since Darwin evolutionists believe that humans are just another animal, they've got no ethical objections to starting to mix humans with animals. But if we go back to the Bible, Genesis 1:24 and 25 says, "Then God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so. God made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after its kind. And God saw that it was good." And then if we move over to 1 Corinthians 15:39, it says, "All flesh is not the same flesh, but there's one kind of flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds." So we know that God meant animals to reproduce within their own kind. What scientists are now doing is mixing those different kinds and going outside of God's plan, and even mixing mankind with animal kind. And when I started thinking about that, it couldn't help but take me into Revelations 9:3-10. "Then out of the smoke came locusts upon the earth, and power was given to them as the scorpions of earth have power. They were told not to hurt the grass of the earth, nor any green thing, nor any tree, but only the men who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. And they were not permitted to kill anyone, but to torment for 5 months, and their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it stings a man. And in those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will long to die, and death flees from them. The appearance of the locusts was like horses prepared for battle, and on their heads appeared to be crowns like gold, and their faces were like faces of men. They had hair like the hair of women, and their teeth was like the teeth of lions. They had breastplates like breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots, of many horses rushing to battle. They have tails like scorpions and stings, and in their tails is the power to hurt men for 5 months." So I always thought that was more figurative. There we go. But Denise's parents have always thought that was literal. And the way science is progressing very quickly with CRISPR and gene editing and starting to mix everything, it's possible it really could be literal rather soon with how we're starting to mix all these different species. Time will tell. But I did say we'd come back to growing human brains and animals. And according to this, we're now growing human mini brains inside of rat bodies and mouse bodies, as the article says. It's all happening. And add to that, scientists are now able to make processing computers out of mammal cells. So they're taking animal cells and turning them into living computers. So think about Revelations in conjunction with that. It's kind of scary times when we do not hold life as sacred and we start mixing it outside of the ways that God created in His wisdom.
Just another different kind of thought than we've had before on Sanctity of Human Life Sunday.